Well, it's summertime, which is my favorite time, but this year it is fun and busy, but honestly a little overwhelming. Let's have a chat. If you're new here, I'm Rian, a Christ-following wife and a homeschool mom to 3 boys. Here we talk all things homeschool, and we will learn together how to use our roles as wife, mom, teacher, and homemaker in order to glorify God. So I've been kind of tossing around the ideas of just doing these kind of sit down chat videos where I just kind of talk about what's on my mind, what's been happening through school and, spiritually and all the things. So let me know down below if this is something you like, but I am just feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and not necessarily in a bad way. It's just things are kind of out of whack, and I'm trying to just kind of spin all the plates and make it work. So I shared before that this summer is a little different than any other. Typically by now we have finished all our curriculum, except maybe 1 or 2 things, but we're still working on a lot. We're still working on science, and we're still working on sunlight, and we're still working on my 6th grader, 5th graders, language arts and math. And I just feel like we are so behind. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how to just be. I don't know how to let go of the expectation of where I thought we would be at this point. I know a lot of homeschoolers are just like, just go with the flow. It doesn't matter as long as they're learning and growing. And I agree with that, but I'm like, we should be done by now, And part of it is just my type A brain talking. Part of it is just the scheduled, rigid planner in me that is just like, no, we planned in a way to where I can be done in May, and we could take a lighter load over the summer and do more like that fun learning. And it didn't work. And I don't like that. And so I've had to deal with, how do I still keep plugging along, but not punish my kids for the fact that we aren't where I thought we would be, because it's really not their fault. It's not totally my fault either. It's just life, right? So I've shared in previous videos, and I'll put them in the iCard up there, about how we planned our summer and how that's going or not going. So I don't need to go into all of that, but I'm just trying to figure out what now? How do I still let my kids have a fun summer? How do I still enjoy summer? It's my favorite season. Like, I should still be able to enjoy it, but still stay on top of things. And we've done a lot this summer. We have gone to visit friends. We've gone to visit family. So we've taken multiple, at least 3 or 4 big-ish road trips. And some of those were done just me and the kids. And so it was like quite an excursion. We got pool season passes this year. And so we've gone to the pool at least once, sometimes twice a week. We have still done a lot of school. And so, right now my kids are with my mom a few states away. I'm letting them kind of have some grandpa time. And that's something we've never done before. My son's getting ready to go to summer camp. And so it's like, we're still doing all the fun things, but I just can't get over the fact that we are not going to be able to start our brand new curriculum in the beginning of August or the beginning of September even. We're still going to be plugging along at some of this other stuff. So I think I will probably be maybe ending some stuff a little early. So like with our math, I won't be ending it early, but my friend helped me see that, Saxon, they don't review at the end, but the beginning, they do a lot of review of the year before. And so I think we will finish out our math this year, but I think we might skip the first several lessons at the beginning of the book when we do get to it for next year, because it will be review. And since we're not even taking a break, they're not going to need that review, right? So I think that will help us kind of get back on track. Spelling, we did this last year too. We might just not finish the book. And I've heard people say time and time again, how many times when you were in public school did you go and start at lesson 1 and do every single lesson through to the end of the book? Very rarely, right? Teachers skipped around. Teachers ended it early. Teachers, combined lessons or doubled up on lessons or whatever. But, they plan these books out in a way in which, yes, you'll do this and this and this and this. And if all goes according to plan, then you will be done in your 28 weeks or 32 weeks or however many weeks it is. But that just doesn't always work out. And so I'm trying to learn to let go of that. Does anyone else have that problem? Because I've realized that people typically, like when I talk to other homeschool moms, I see one of two people. Now, of course, this isn't a law or anything. There's the people who are like me, and they are like, this is the plan. We're sticking to the plan. We're not changing curriculum. We are not veering off course. We are starting this day. We are ending this day. We're doing this many lessons, and they do it. And when it goes off the rails, they quickly correct because they don't like being off the rails. And then I have homeschool mom friends who tend to fall into the other ditch, and they're just like, I like this, but it's not really working that great. So why don't we try this? And then you know what? We'll take this week off, and then it's fine if we don't finish by the end of the year, like whatever. And yeah, we'll do a lesson here or there over the summer, and neither of them is necessarily bad, but they can both have their hangups, right? And so I think it's just, I'm learning how to let go. I'm learning how to loosen the reins a little bit and be okay with that, and realize that, skipping the last 3 spelling lessons isn't going to mean my kids don't know how to spell. It's just 3 lessons or 4 lessons or whatever it is. So I don't know. That's just been really, really interesting and hard, really hard. I have also shared that I am starting up a co-op, and there's a lot of planning and preparation that goes into that. And I feel like I've been so focused on finishing up this school year that I haven't really thought ahead to that enough. And like, that's going to be starting in a month. I have a month to plan for that. And so I'm like, okay, Ryan, you've really got to buckle down and work on that. Like, just because in previous years you were able to finish your homeschool year out strong and then take a little break and then think about co-op, one, you're leading it, so you have to think about it even earlier than in previous years. And 2, that's not going to happen. Like, the end of this year and co-op are probably going to overlap. So you don't have that room to wiggle. And so I'm like, oh, darn, I've got to hurry up. I'm working on the lesson plans. I'm teaching kindergarten and under, so ages like 2 to 5, 6-ish maybe. And we're doing more of a literature study. So it's going to be kind of like 5 in a row, where we, read a picture book, and then we do science activities and art projects and games and movement and music and all of that kind of stuff relating to that book. And then we're gonna have like a Bible time and an outside time and all those things too. And so I need to kind of get a game plan finished up for that. I'm kind of started thinking in that direction, but I need to actually like get pen to paper and get it set up. And it's just a lot to think about. I also have been like barely getting by with my house. So I'm getting the basic things done. Like, I've gotten in a good routine of making sure my dishes are done before I go to bed. I've gotten in a good routine of, getting a load of laundry done every day. And those things that like help keep you afloat, I'm finally there instead of like, at the end of the week doing a massive amount of laundry. I've gotten to where I'm like actually keeping on top of that, which is great, because it did take a while in this new house to like kind of figure out new rhythms. Only about a year later, I figured some of them out. But I'm finding like, okay, now I have like these little projects that I want to do, different areas that I want to use in a different way, or, closets that just stuff kind of got thrown in after we moved and they really need to be decluttered, and a lot of stuff thrown away probably because we haven't touched it in almost a year. And I'm like, when am I gonna have time for this? So I don't know, maybe we'll get a good start on this, co-op year and this school year, and I'll just randomly take a week and do kind of like a fall cleaning, and, each day that week tackle a different area that's been, being neglected. But right now it's just not the time for that. So we're still just, floating by. And then, all these things are good things. So like, none of these things that have been taking my time and attention have been bad things. The traveling and getting my son ready for camp. He's been doing little odd jobs here and there to earn money to help pay for camp. My grandma just moved to a retirement community nearby, which she's always been out of town, several hours from us. And now she's, just a few minutes from us. So we've been taking time to go see her and help her out with some stuff. And so these are all good things that I'm so glad we get to do. I just feel like a fish out of water. I feel like our routine is just like non-existent, and not necessarily in the day-to-day. We still have a pretty good flow to our day every day, but it's just, this is a whole new season and I don't adapt to change well. I don't know if any of you are like this, but new things can be fun, but they, to me, are just like, okay, now what? Like sometimes I have, a moment of free time and I'm just paralyzed. I'm like, I don't even know what to do now. I've just been so busy keeping up that like now that I have a minute, I don't know what to do with my time. And to be honest, I've kind of felt myself in a spiritual funk, and I don't know that all this is related. Maybe it is because I've been a little busier, that my time with the Lord has not been what it should be. And I don't mean that, I've lost faith or anything like that. It's just that I've been really apathetic and I've been lazy. Honestly, if I'm getting to the root of it, I've been spiritually lazy, and I've not been praying as fervently as I know I ought. And I have not been, diving into my word. It's been like a skim, checklist, go, got it, good. Treating the Lord like a drive-through. And it's like, that's not, I don't know. It's not what being a Christian's about. It's not what fellowshipping with the Lord should look like. And so I am, kind of trying to, course correct and get back to, the Lord's called me to prayer. He calls us to intentional time with him, and not just for our good, although we do get good out of it. We should do it because we love him and we want to know more of him. And so that motivation isn't just going to like come one day. It's like a lot of things. Motivation doesn't happen to us. We have to initiate, and then the motivation will help carry us, but it's not just going to find us on its own. So I just have to do that for myself. And same thing goes with something far less important, but my physical health. I literally just don't have time. I don't have time to do the hardcore workouts that I was doing, the 45-minute, hour and a half workouts that, early in my pregnancy I was doing. And, obviously way before my pregnancy too, I was, really consistent with that. Sorry if you can hear someone's bass. They're bumping down the road. Cool. But this is not the time for that. I have a baby whom I love dearly, but he is a mama's boy. And I know that I will miss this one day. And I know that these times are fleeting. And I know that this is probably our last one. And so I need to hold on to that. But man, it's really exhausting when I feel like I have him on my hip 24/7, which I know isn't a literal 24/7. Like he's not here right now. But I'm just like, man, like I can't be in the same room as him without him wanting to be picked up. And that's just tough. That's just tough when you're used to being able to work out and you're used to being able to, do at least some fun things. Like I haven't crocheted or done a puzzle or anything that I like leisurely in a long time. And you're like, oh wow, poor you. And I know, I get it. Those are very selfish things that I don't have to do those things to be happy or content. But it's just hard. It's hard to just reshape your thinking and just be like, you don't deserve leisurely time. It's not something that we have to survive, right? It's just nice to have. I've had to just count taking a walk with my babies as my workout lately, and just reshape what working out looks like for me right now. And, when it's 100 degrees outside and you live with the hills that I live on, it's a decent workout. It's just not what I'm used to. And that just brings me to my last thing as far as YouTube goes. This is something that started as just a desire to join the community that I saw in here. I saw a lot of homeschool moms that I'm like, man, I could glean a lot from these women. And I have. Some of my best friends are right here from the YouTubes. I met them here. But, it started there, and then it grew into, I see kind of a void of moms marrying this homeschool life to what it looks like to be a biblical mom and wife, and marrying that together. And that's kind of what I set out to do here. But, it's tough. It's tough because I'm I want to see growth in my channel, and I want to, I would love for this to have a monetary value, and it just has very little of that for me right now. I'm like, man, this is a lot of work. This is a lot of work. And so I want to know from you guys, what is it that brings you here? What is it that you get here that you would like to see more of? Is it the homeschool stuff? Is it the biblical womanhood stuff? And I know I've asked this question before, but just kind of in more of a heart-to-heart way, like, why are you here? And I'm not looking for compliments or anything. I just want to get my feelers out for how do I make this channel valuable for you, because I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it because I have so much extra time on my hands. I do it because I found true community here, and I do this because I just seek to glorify the Lord and just share part of my story in hopes that it would help someone else. But this is just an honest chat about where I am and where I'm trying to go and how life is going for me right now. So let me know, why are you here? Talk to you next time.